Hey everyone, I'm Pat Mayo with Mike Cardano, and we need to get right into this. WBC Brawl, Canada. Catcher Chris Robinson bunted for a hit with a 9-3 lead in the top of the ninth. After fielding the bunt, Mexico third baseman Luis Cruz made an obvious gesture to pitcher Arnold Leon to hit the next batter. 2 pitches later, both inside. And then the third pitch off the back of Rene Tassone. An obvious attempt to hit him. Umpire issues a warning to both dugouts. Leon hits him anyway on the next pitch. As Tassone walks to the mound in objection, because, he's a man, he doesn't want to be disrespected like that, Cruz comes in throwing punches from third base. The result? Canada wins on the scoreboard and beats down Mexico on the field in fisticuffs as well. At least that's how it appeared to me. How did you see it?
The funniest thing was Oliver Perez coming in, swinging wildly, wide and outside, just like he pitches. And then you have Alfredo Aceves in there blocking punches with his face. He looked like Randall Tex Cobb and Larry Holmes just jabbing and hitting him.
Well, Larry Walker, first base coach for Canada, Larry Walker had a great quote after the game and said he was restraining, he tried to restrain Aceves and said he saw Satan in his eyes.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to mess with Larry Walker. He's a big dude.
Aceves is even bigger. Aceves is a huge dude. He's just gigantic.
Then why was he blocking punches with his face for? You see what his face looked like afterwards?
Apparently he didn't feel it.
Oh.
That's his MO on that.
No brain, no pain.
No brain, no pain. Exactly. So what do you make of all this? The run differential is the reason that there was a bunt. Now, I saw it's funny because I was reading Toronto Blue Jays stuff after the game. Jose Batista comes out. He says it's disrespectful to do this sort of thing. It's the unwritten rule of baseball. And then Blue Jays manager John Gibbons comes out and says, well, you know what? These are the rules that are in place. They needed these runs. You don't want to lose in a tiebreaker. If we remember back to 2009, that's how Canada was eliminated. They beat the U.S. in 2009, yet ended up losing in a tiebreaker and not making it out of the first round.
Didn't anybody, the manager or somebody, tell these guys on the Mexican team the rules? I mean, and it's crazy. These guys, Cruz and Leon, they embarrassed themselves. They embarrassed that country.
Well, they only embarrassed themselves because they got the crap kicked out of them in the fight.
Yeah.
If they had won the fight, maybe a different story.
The only thing now, if they want to continue, they're out now. They're eliminated, right? They lost 10-3. If they want to continue in the WBC now, the only thing they could do is they can go cut the grass at Marlins Park. It's the only thing they could do. I mean, let me get this straight, though. If they scored 8 runs, they lost 10-3. They lost the game. So if they scored 8 runs in the bottom of the ninth when they got up, they would have been cool with that. They would have won the game.
Yeah.
The team's trying to score a run. To every team except the United States, this is really, really important. I'm
glad you brought this up because, at least for me, being a Canadian, I was all in on Canada. I didn't really care about the WC to begin with. And this fight sort of legitimized it in my eyes. I always felt like the people didn't care.
I agree.
And this was, there's some passion going on here. Justin Morneau comes out after the game and just says how great it was to be a part of it. That's a crazy thing to hear from a player. It's just the passion that stems from it. And then you have baseballs being thrown at Larry Walker from the stands in the game, bottles flying onto the field. Yeah. There was legitimate hatred from that game. And then it sets up yesterday's clash, the U.S. game against Canada, which would look pretty good through 7.5 innings for Team Canada. It kind of got away from them. But I was invested in that game. The first time I've ever been invested in a WBC event. Do you see this as something that can sort of take off from here? Or I don't know how much I'm going to care now that Canada's out, to tell you the truth. But
well, Canada earned my respect. They did what they had to do and defended themselves, and then they played a good game yesterday. They played a really good game. This whole thing, they may have to think about they have too many teams, and they need to have a run differential rule. There's the only way to break ties.
The rules are a problem.
Yeah. You know what? I don't know if you remember the Greatest Show on Turf. Mike Martz, when he was coaching the Rams.
The 99 Rams?
Yeah, well, in 2001, right after he was head coach by then, right after 9/11, I had a part-time job, holding parabolic microphones over at Giant Stadium. And the Rams were playing the Jets, and they were kicking their butts up and down the field. And somebody in the booth said to Martz in his headset, I was standing right next to him on the sideline holding the thing, said, hey, look, they're killing you on television. They say you're running up the score. It's unsportsmanlike. And what he said was, he said it right back into the microphone. I was standing next to him. He said, this is the NFL. The professional athletes. If they don't want us to score, stop us. So when when Robinson bunts the ball, Cruz should pick up the ball and throw to first and get him out. Yeah, Instead, he picks up the ball, and he wags his finger, and he tells Leon to hit the next guy. And then
So it's an unreal. It was like when Spurrier first came into the league with Washington. He started running up scoring preseason games, and take issue with that. I sort of see that in a preseason game. It's supposed to be
a little different in college, you know. In the pros, everybody's playing for a paycheck.
And this, everyone's playing for a country. People want to advance. I mean, Canada ends up not advancing anyway because they lost.
I said before, for everyone but the United States, they have players who they either decline going or the major league team puts pressure on them not to go. Everybody else. They may not be on a major league team, but whoever it is that is the very best offer for their country, they're at the game. And if they can beat the Americans, it's a big deal.
Oh, it's an absolute big deal. I was very, very fired up with the prospects. They were winning.
I don't blame you.
It was the 8th inning. I was really looking forward to this and seeing the U.S. get wiped out and just not making it through. It really would have been great.
What was with Torre with all the bunting?
I don't know. When you have a team full of all-stars, I don't know how much sense it really makes.
He should have brought in that guy from the Chicago Cubs. They had a bunting contest, and he was from some executive from the front office, and he got to the semifinals, and De Jesus beat him. But better than everybody else on the team.
Well, I mean, we were talking off air, and you brought up this point yesterday that these guys don't bunt. Like, how often does Adam Jones bunt? Really? No. He doesn't. He's not used to bunting. He's a power hitter. And you saw that when he got to swing away with the bases loaded. He hits a 3-run double.
No, I don't. There's nobody on that team. I don't think who's bunted in a major league. Or maybe they have. I don't know. Well, they're certainly not known for bunting. The sluggers.
So Torre's doing this. He's bunting. And okay, what about his decision not to play Giancarlo Stanton against Canada and play Shane Victorino instead? What is this, minor baseball? Or are they 6-year-olds?
I saw where
it's fair play time.
He hit a car in the parking lot. I guess that was during batting practice.
Well, he hits him out of the stadium.
So was he punishing for hitting the car? He broke the window?
I don't know. It just seemed very counterproductive. It was like not bringing Craig Kimbrell in the 8th inning with the bases loaded. You have your best pitcher there. Who cares if it's the 9th inning? Who cares if it's a save situation? Shut them down there. No wonder he doesn't coach anymore. Really.
You know what? They won the game, so it's hard to say. I wouldn't have did it that way. But if they lost, he would have been catching a lot of flack.